Greg, you're up first here.
Test your consistency here.
Texans coming into Arrowhead almost 9-point underdogs. First matchup was a 27-19 Chiefs victory. Mahomes had 2 touchdowns, 1 in the air, 1 in the ground. KC rolled this game. Greg, who is this game a must-win for? I'm going to warn everybody, do not say Patrick Mahomes, okay? We get it. The people at home are like, Patrick Mahomes is going for a three-peat. Like, I know that. Everyone knows that.
Well, Wilds, I don't care about warnings.
Don't, please, Greg, don't, for your own sake.
No, look, I don't care. I go against the grain.
Don't say Patrick Mahomes.
This is Patrick Mahomes all the way. Let me tell you why. My buddy to my left, he does these things where he tells us how great Patrick Mahomes is.
I just show facts.
And the facts that you've shown is he is without blemish in this round.
Yeah.
He doesn't lose in this round.
No.
So he must win to save. Matter of fact, this is when the season starts.
No,
for Patrick
that's
Mahomes.
wrong. It starts next week.
This is when the playoffs start. You said this all season long. When the playoffs come, this is when their season starts. You said this is practice. You also said this is when the season starts, when they're in the postseason. So for me, when I look at those numbers, and he's the great Patrick Mahomes, the Texans can't possibly beat them because he does everything right. He doesn't lose in this round. This is Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. All right, KW.
Okay, we go.
Based on the Derrick Henry precedent that's been set, I'm pivoting
Copycat league.
Uh-oh. DeAndre Hopkins.
Interesting.
What's the last time he played in the playoffs? It was in this exact matchup.
Love it.
In this stadium, up 24-0. Who is the wide receiver that's been in the league 11, 12 years that right now everyone's talking about being a Hall of Famer? Not DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans. What's the only knock about DeAndre? 400 yards in the playoffs, hasn't been in the playoffs in 5 years, no great postseason moments. Well, now he's on the best team he's ever been on, playing the team that traded him away for a second-round pick and a running back on a bad contract. The last time he was in a playoff game, he was on the receiving end of a 51-7 run by the other team after being up 24-0. He's got to win and stamp his ticket to Canton with a great postseason.
Wow. I mean, his whole career basically comes down to this week.
He was reciting from my playbook. I just said that the last segment.
But it was good.
You gonna fall for that?
I don't know. I like it.
Here it is. CJ Stroud. What have we all said about CJ this week? Sophomore slump. Not this week, this year. Sophomore slump. Well, how in the world, what a better way to turn a sophomore slump into sophomore sizzle.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, sizzle. Because now CJ was the cat's meow. He was the new it guy coming into this season. Now you know who the it guy is? Jaden Daniels.
That's true.
All right? And people have forgotten about CJ.
Have they?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah,
and
true.
so if he wins this game, he puts himself back on the map. Some people had him winning MVP. I think Greg
What
did.
happens
next?
if he
He
loses?
wins this game next year. People are thinking, okay, CJ MVP.
True. Oh,
CJ's the best young quarterback in the league. All that stuff.
What happens if he loses?
It's a must-win.
What
CJ
happens if
Stroud.
he loses?
I know better than to answer Nick's question.
Nick wins it. The DeAndre Hopkins thing is interesting.
He copied my playbook.
Okay, let's talk about this. This is a fun one. I have a couple different answers, honestly, for this one. I'm going to say, probably who has the most to gain in a weird way, rather than who is this a must-win for a few different reasons. CJ, kind of like what Brew just kind of talked about. This season has been a weird season for them, for CJ as well. People are like, oh, he is in a sophomore slump. He's going backwards. He's regressed, all this type of stuff. He was on the trajectory. I'm not saying he was going to achieve it, but it's like when you enter this league, they're kind of like, where are we going to put you? You have a good path, a great path, a special path, a legendary path, an up and down path. Like there's kind of different doors, different paths that you can kind of go down. CJ after year one and then winning in the first round of the playoffs, he was put on legendary path. Again, not saying that he was going to stay on that path, but that was the path that he was placed upon. It was like, hey, I'm on a legendary path now, baby. And then the team itself, they went all in. They started grabbing other pieces. They tried to build this team up, and they're like, hey, man, like, we're building a Super Bowl roster here. We're going to get you Diggs. We already got Nico, Tank Dell. Like, we're ready to ball, man. Like, let's do this. Got a run game going. Like, here we are. Bobby Slowick is supposed to be the next McVay, the next Shanahan. Like, we're about to go on a run. And then that didn't happen, obviously. Or I shouldn't say it didn't happen. Technically the run is happening right now. But the season did not unfold as you would want to. And again, we can defend injuries. We can say all that. I've talked about all that. But if you now beat the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, a couple things happen. One, you absolutely are firmly planted on that legendary side. You just knocked out Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. Like, that would be massive. Not to mention the popularity of this team. The one thing that I have observed is that, a lot of people, the Chiefs, like all teams out there, are divisive. All great teams are divisive. People are cheering for the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry, and they're rooting against them. Same thing for LeBron James and the Lakers. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And the Chiefs definitely have that. You have people that are just constantly defending, swooning, praising, elevating them nonstop. And then likewise, you have people that are like, no, want them to lose, want them to lose, want them to lose. And if you are the team to beat them, to knock them out, like you're going to have the masses behind you, man. Like, you're going to have an army of people behind you that are going to just be through the moon, who are going to become Texans fans now. Like, they'll legitimately become Texans fans. So just from like a brand building perspective, it would be massive. But it's so fascinating for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs because they're obviously going for a three-peat. And for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, like, aura, the whole mystique about them, if they lose in this round, you do pop it. That bubble does pop. But at the same time, you're going to say that there's something to lose for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs if they lose. Yeah, they don't get to go for that three-peat now, but like, again, I'm on the record saying this so many different times. Like, I don't care as much for the three-peat. If they lost this year, but then won next year, I'm in no way saying that it would have been more impressive if they three-peated. No, I'm going to be like, they won 3 out of the last 4. That's amazing. Like, that's just not the way my mind works. Like, it doesn't matter to me. If Patrick Mahomes ends up winning, and let's just keep this really basic, 6 Super Bowls, one was a three-peat and the other ones were just kind of scattered, it wouldn't matter to me as if one was a three-peat and the rest were scattered, or if he won 6 Super Bowls and it was just one was back-to-back, another one was, and then it was just one, every other year or something. Like, it truly wouldn't matter to me. Truly. It's just like, it's just like, yeah, if you really look at it, yeah, it's impressive, but it's like Nick is trying to make that into like the most massive stamp thing, and other people are following it, and I understand why people feel that way. I personally don't. That's a me thing. I personally don't, because I've also already said that the Kansas City Chiefs are a dynasty, and if they lost this year and then won next year, or if they lost these next 2 years and then won again, I'm still putting this dynasty in this whole reign. I'm still being like, they've been conquering since 2019 or 2018 even. Like, I start that dynasty even before they even won a Super Bowl. It's just how my mind works. It's just how I view it. So my one concern actually about the Chiefs three-peating is that it would degrade conversations, because people just be like, three-peat. And that's what they do with LeBron James versus Michael Jordan. Three-peat. He three-peated. LeBron never did. And it's like, okay, so? And I'm not trying to get into the whole LeBron, Jordan debate. But it's just like, okay, kind of like, who cares? Like, it's just, and I fear that that's all anyone will say. And that'll just be the automatic go-to. And it's like, I don't know. Because if Brady, like right now, Brady has 7 rings. And if you just, then it's like, okay, well, even if the Chiefs three-peat, if Mahomes only gets to 5 or 6 rings, then again, the Brady fans will still just automatically be like, doesn't matter, 7 to 6, 7 to 5, whatever. And to me, that also degrades conversation. That's not an interesting conversation point. So just for the sake of sports talk, It's almost like I think it would be better. But obviously I understand if you're a Chiefs fan, like you want a three-peat and you would wear that with your badge of honor, and understandably so, and as you should, quite frankly. But as someone who's just more outside looking in, it personally does not move the needle for me. And that's my way of also now supporting the Chiefs. Whereas like if they lose and they don't win, even just the Super Bowl at all, let alone this game, I don't see them really losing anything. I think they lose some of that mystique and some of that aura of like they're so unstoppable, no one could beat them, Patrick Mahomes never lose, etc., etc. Like that would be jarring for some people, especially fans that I interact with. But if we're going to continue to have actual honest conversations about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, then they would effectively lose nothing if they lose. It would just be, they were trying to go for something, they didn't get it, whatever. I'm not expecting Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl every single year or get to the AFC Championship or even the Super Bowl every single year. Again, it's just not how my mind works. So is it a must-win? No, really for neither of these teams. Because again, you're going to say it's a must-win for the Texans to be able to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, the dynasty. And it's just like, and the Kansas City Chiefs, it's a must-win for them because they have to just keep winning to sustain their dynasty or these three-peat aspirations. It's just not how my mind works. So, but I think technically the person who has the most to gain in this win would be CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans, because it would firmly plant him back on that track to being like, yo, I am a legend. I understand you love Caleb Williams and you love Lamar Jackson and you love Jaden Daniels. Ooh, Jaden Daniels, he's a great, nice, new, shiny toy. I am him. I am the guy. I'm the one that beat Patrick Mahomes. I'm the one that went into Arrowhead and knocked him out. I'm the one that stopped the three-peat. I'm the one that did this, not you. Not you. And I beat them before Lamar Jackson, before Josh Allen, before, Jaden got a chance, or, Jalen, any of these guys. I did that. Me. And I did it with an injured roster also and a beat up O-line. That's what I did. That's what's on my resume. And he gets to plant that flag real firm and be like, let's go. And it's a massive resume builder, without a doubt. Legacy builder. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Houston Texans and CJ Stroud taking on the Kansas City Chiefs? Who do you think has more, who do you think this is a must win for, if either of them? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.